and thank you for joining us on our Welcome Back webinar. Today we will do a review of Unified Champion Schools, everything you're going to need for the upcoming school year. We know that everyone's year is starting out differently. We know some of you are in school, in person. We know some of you are virtual, and some of you are doing a combination of both. Whichever way you are back to school, we're here to support you because we are your biggest supporters and your biggest fans.
Hi guys, my name is Kelsey. I am in the southeast portion of Pennsylvania working with our Unified Champion School team. So we do have a lot of people on our support team. So on this page we have all of our full-time Special Olympics staff along with the counties they oversee for UCS. Here we have all of our emails. Again, this will be sent out if you do not have this information already. I hope that everyone already knows who their liaison is, but if not, please reach out. Here's even more of our support team. So most of these people will be doing the same thing as full-time staff. Typically the difference is they are also doing another full-time job on top of this, but they also have listed the counties they oversee. And again, here are any emails if you need to reach anyone outside of your liaison. And again, hopefully you do know who your liaison is at this point.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Lauren Salter. I'm the Western Unified Champion Schools Manager. I just wanted to take you through our awesome website that we have for Special Olympics Pennsylvania. So as Jen is clicking through the website, it can show you some of the awesome features that we have. So it's specialolympicspa.org is our primary website. And to get to everything all Unified Champion Schools related for Special Olympics Pennsylvania, you're going to go to the More Than Sports tab and then slide down to the Unified Champion Schools. Now in here is a number of resources, everything that you need to know for Unified Champion Schools. On the front page here, you'll see our events calendar. Right now it's a little bit sparse, but as we get started with bocce, it'll fill up very quickly. And then as you scroll down, it'll give you some good definitions of all three components of Unified Champion Schools. One thing that we certainly wanted to highlight on here would be the interest form that we have available. So if you have friends that are at different schools that say, hey, we want to get involved, we want to be a Unified Champion School, this is what we would like them to submit to us. So we can reach out to them and get some more information and help them on their journey to becoming a Unified Champion School. As we slide up on this other tab here called Resources, there is a long library list of various resources for your clubs, for your sports, for your spread the word campaigns. This is really your one-stop shop for everything Unified Champion Schools related. And if you find that you're looking for something and you can't find it, please reach out to one of your liaisons and we'll certainly help you get to where you need to be. The one other tab on here that we certainly want to show you is the Find a Program. It's the top there. So if you have individuals or yourselves that are interested in getting involved locally with the programs available, so we work on a primarily county basis in the communities, and this tab will take you to get connected to those local programs in your area there. All the contact information for each of those is involved. And then each of those tabs will take you to their respective websites and help you get connected. So the other website that we want to show you is a really awesome one. Definitely want to share with your youth and your schools. It's generationunified.org. And regardless of how you're going back to school, regardless if you're going back virtual, you're in person full time, what this website does is really give a lot of great resources for you as teachers and ideas for your students to keep your entire student body engaged and really bring about the whole unified generation. So if you click on the videos tab, This is a large data bank of some really awesome videos. They're categorized by type. You can really hit if you're doing some disability awareness, if you want to do some senior recognition, if you want to do some inspirational videos to really get some people jazzed up. This is certainly where you want to look. So definitely something I would encourage you to do, something that you can show your clubs and a lot of other folks. If you click on the At Home tab there, these are things, if you slide down from that tab, there's a ton of activities and ideas that you can do, and Mike is going to touch on them a little bit more further in the presentation, but just to give you a look at different activities that you can encourage your folks to be doing at home, schools of strength, get them moving, have some fun club activities like blackout bingo, and just a whole host of different things that you can do, keep everybody engaged regardless of how you're back at school. The last tab we're going to show you is just the About tab here, and it really just gives some general demographics and information about what Unified Champion Schools is. I think it's really cool to be able to show other people just how big the movement is and how much we're growing on a continuous basis. So it's a lot of showing how many participants we have, talking about school climate and how that can change in a positive light there. So definitely a really cool website. I encourage you to go in and click around and really dive into all the resources that are available there.
Hi guys, my name is Mike Jordan and I manage the Unified Champion Schools program in Philadelphia. So communication can obviously be one of the biggest factors to having an effective and a successful Unified Champion Schools program in your school. Right here is just a list of some of the forms of communication that you're going to receive from your Special Olympics Pennsylvania liaison. So if you're in a unified bocce season, you'll be getting weekly emails. Something I like to focus on is the monthly open forum. So we can have pretty much office hours open to everyone to come in, share their best practices, what's working the best in their school as far as inclusive youth leadership for their unified sports team, what they're working on for whole school engagement, and to share those ideas with the Special Olympics Pennsylvania liaison, as well as other schools to bounce ideas off each other, discuss challenges and things like that. Also, please schedule one-on-one meetings with your Special Olympics liaison to talk about what your school is going to be doing this year. We're going to get into our virtual youth summit a little bit later, as well as the Spread the Word Inclusion campaign and some of those promotional materials that we'll be giving you guys some funds. And Cool Schools, the Polar Plunge, and our sport resource guides for our unified sport coaches. But please, the general message here is to just reach out if you need anything, whether that be phone calls or text messages. I know that some of our liaisons like to communicate through all different ways. And from our side, from the SOPA side of things, we're going to be mindful to not bombard you with emails and overwhelm you, because we know this is going to be an unprecedented year, whether you're in person, hybrid, or completely virtual. And here's some forms of communication that you may be sending to your Special Olympics Pennsylvania liaison. So what you're doing for your whole school engagements and what's that going to look like this year as far as your youth leadership clubs, and just please summarize your activities so we can share that out in our monthly newsletters, which we'll get to later. So below are 3 examples of the reporting that your schools will be doing this year. So there's a mid-season report that comes out around January, and that is going to be distributed from your Special Olympics Pennsylvania liaison, as well as the final report in May. The third reporting period is with UMass Boston, and that's going to come from University of Massachusetts Boston. You will not be getting that from a Special Olympics Pennsylvania email, but we will be updating you around those timelines to expect what's coming and the deadlines of when you should have those reporting completed by.
Okay, so we talk about Unified Champion Schools, and of course we abbreviate it UCS. What makes up a Unified Champion School are 3 components. The first is Interscholastic Unified Sports, or IUS. Whole School Engagement is the second, WSE. And finally, our Inclusive Youth Leadership at IYE. L. Let's take you through the first one, the Interscholastic Unified Sports. So yes, we will be hosting training and competition, and again, it is going to look a little different this year. We will offer our indoor bocce during the winter and track and field during spring. But the change this year, we will have 3 different formats that is available. We have in-person training and in-person competition, in-person training and virtual competition, and finally virtual training and virtual competition. So we're going to need to take a little look at what those 3 formats look like. The first one, the in-person training and the in-person competition, is what we normally do. So if your school is back in session and you are able to train and travel for competition, we will follow all the normal guidelines and make sure that everything is the same as what we've always known. Now, if you're in school but you're not allowed to travel, then we'll work with the in-person training and the virtual competition. So again, for training, you'll follow all the regular guidelines that your school provides you and the PIAA sport training guidelines. This time though, competition will be a little bit different. Each team will be in their own gym. We'll be hosting dual meets, and we will video conference with other schools. So you'll be rolling your 10 frames, but again, you'll do it without another team. But you'll measure all the balls, then we'll be comparing the ball measurements and comparing to the other schools. Points will be given, and a winner will be announced. Okay. So if we are doing a 2-school meet, again, we will continue to do our best of 3. If we have 2 teams for each school, we'll follow our format for that. So we'll just keep paying attention to how the changes are taking place in your school, and that will decide what type of competition you'll look at. Let's take a look at one more format, which is the virtual training and the virtual competition. So if we're going to be at home, all the athletes and partners will be training at home. We'll need to make sure that they have their own ball and a measuring tape. And again, we'll need a video conferencing platform, whatever is being used within your schools. So the participants will be training at home. Competition will be competition. There'll be 10 frames and plus a frame for a tiebreaker. And again, we'll have dual meets. So the athletes will be and partners will be at home rolling their balls. They'll roll them a specific distance. We will be measuring. They'll submit the scores to their coaches. And the coaches then will host a video conference with all the athletes from both teams and the partners from both teams. And we will figure out who gets the points and who won. So if you are a bocce coach, we'll be going into greater detail in the bocce resource guide that will be coming out shortly. The timelines, again, you don't have to hurry and write this down. We will make sure you get a copy of them, and they will come out of the bocce and the track and field resource guide. But bocce will start in early November and will end by March 5th. Track and field will start in early February, and again, we will end by March 12th. Something new this year, we always have the PIAA SOPA athlete medical that you've been doing. This year, we will have you do that medical, but it will remain at the school. You will not have to copy it, and the school will do with it what they do with all of their PIAA forms. It will just be a requirement that the form is done. What we'll need is the athlete application for Interscholastic Unified Sports participation. And this will actually just be a link. You'll click on the link and information will be able to be filled out. Now, you don't have to do it. You can send the link home for the families to do it. But both of these must be done prior to the first practice, just like we always do. So again, you will not have to send us those PIAA medicals. We'll just need you to make sure that the athlete takes home the link for their family so they can fill out the participation form.
So now we're going to switch gears a little bit and dive into what inclusive youth leadership will look like this year. First up, we do have our youth leadership newsletter. This did begin last year and it came out monthly. We are changing it to quarterly newsletters this year. But again, if you ever want your school highlighted or any of your students highlighted, we are always looking for stories and pictures, and you can send them to sopaunified@gmail.com. As you guys know, we have a youth summit every year. Obviously, this year it will not be in person as in the past, but we are doing a virtual youth summit. So what is this going to look like? So we're going to do a video series. It's going to consist of 4 videos, followed by an activity and discussion, which we are going to put in a facilitator's guide to make it very easy. So there's going to be a couple things you turn in, and by you I mean the students, not you obviously, but it should be very fun, and hopefully you'll be able to learn. They'll be able to learn a lot from this virtual youth summit. Our theme this year is Share Your Story. It's really designed to make students confident in talking about their experiences with unified sports and Special Olympics. And something we are doing differently this year is, in the past, this has been limited to only 4 students, so 2 athletes and 2 partners. And this year there are no limits. This is really I want this to be viewed as an opportunity for clubs or for classes, whatever is easiest for the facilitator, the teacher, whoever that may be. So whatever size group works best for you within your club or school, please know that that is completely acceptable for us. Along those same lines, what exactly do unified clubs look like? So we know that if schools are virtual, all clubs are also virtual. So it's really important that there is some sort of transition happening so that their club is still meeting, because our athletes and our partners still need this interaction regardless of the setting that they are in school. Again, our unified clubs will have co-leadership, so that is a president or any sort of leadership role that is both a student with and without intellectual disabilities working together. And this can be done at any leadership position within the school. And these clubs typically will meet 1 to 2 times a month, whatever is normal for the other clubs in your school. Again, this should be treated the same exact way, and the clubs will be planning things like their whole school engagement activities, which we'll talk about later. Just a quick kind of just a little thing about how clubs will look like virtually. Again, it's just so important that you are still meeting with these students. You can use whatever platform is easiest for your schools. I'm sure the schools will give more direction on the preferred platform of choice, but we really wish to see all clubs still meeting 1 to 2 times a month. It is just vital that everyone's voices are still heard. Our athletes may not be getting as much socialization as normal, just like all of us, which makes this more important than ever. Some other things we have, we're really going to push like whole school engagements via social media. On Generation Unified, there's a whole bunch of resources on virtual whole school engagements, but some things on there, you'll have Inclusion Spirit Week, celebrating International Dance Day, spread the word inclusion, all that good stuff. So if you do not have a club at your school, it is going to be easiest to kind of join forces with a pre-existing club, and that is completely and totally okay with us. So some examples of clubs that we have kind of joined forces for in other schools are clubs like Best Buddies, any sort of anti-bullying clubs, athlete leadership clubs, and student councils. Again, we are very flexible with this. Whatever makes the most sense in your school environment, we would be more than happy to work with you with. And again, you're going to need to talk to the student advisor, talk to them about Unified Champion Schools, and incorporate co-leadership into the club, and also those aspects of whole school engagements that we need. If you cannot join with a new club or you want to create your own, that is also completely great with us. So obviously you can't do it alone. You're going to need to have like a small force with you, with students and teachers, to really get this club up and going. Make sure you follow any rules outlined by the school to properly form this club. And again, recruitment is going to be big. Recruitment might look a little different this year, so we're really kind of pushing personal ask for the first year, and then by then it should grow by word of mouth. Okay, so as we just said, recruitment might look a little a little different. So if it's in person, you kind of go back to the traditional senses of recruitment, where you can have flyers around the school, friends asking friends, that targeted approach of having teachers ask. Obviously, you're really going to want to find those student leaders and have them going out to the schools. And again, communication. So morning announcements, social media, those are all great platforms to push out club recruitment. If it is virtual, maybe it'll be a direct email to students that are more interested or you think would be a great fit. And again, with communication, I'm sure there's going to be still daily school announcements, whether that be just like a video or a daily email. Getting in that is going to be very important. Utilizing the school websites and social media will really help get the word out this year.
So whole school engagements is the final component of the Unified Champions Schools program, and whole school engagements are pretty much defined as any inclusive activity that's able to reach all parts of the school. The first in-person example we have here is Fans in the Stands. So when your school is hosting a unified sports match, and students from all over the school have the ability to sit in the stands and support, make signs, as you see the picture here, and root on their team. Next, we have Spread the Word and Inclusion. So each school will receive around $150 worth of funds that they're able to go onto a website and purchase promotional and materials about inclusion, that Special Olympics and inclusive programming are happening at your school, as well as pep rallies to hype up the team as they go out to a regional or a sectional championship to compete. You can have the cheerleading team out there and the band, and to get everyone excited about Special Olympics happening in your school. So virtual whole school engagements is going to need some creativity. As Kelsey had said before, utilizing your school's social media accounts, or as you see in the picture here, getting all of the students in your Google Classroom and taking a screenshot, maybe doing a Spirit Week challenge, like a silly hat or crazy socks day. On the Generation Unified website, you'll see resources for School of Strength, which is our partnership, a Special Olympics partnership with the WWE, and has WWE athletes lead physical workouts, which is really cool, because I know a lot of the students love WWE, as well as the box program. So that was created by Reebok. It's all free resources that can be used for before, during, and after school activity. And the theory behind that is to have active bodies will lead to active minds. So it's to include in-class virtual participation. And the last idea is to stream your bocce matches. So not only are your teams able to see the videos of competing against each other, but possibly parents and fans of the school are able to go on maybe Facebook Live, whether that is any kind of online video platform, is to broadcast your unified sports matches would be really cool, and to engage, engage everyone in your school. Here we have our Spread the Word Inclusion slide. So in the past, a couple of years ago, it was Spread the Word to End the Word, and now that campaign has changed to Spread the Word Inclusion. I used to work at a school in Philadelphia, and we purchased a huge banner, and everyone signed their name on it, pledging to live a life of inclusion. They also have bracelets, water bottles. So there's lots of different kinds of materials that you can distribute throughout your school or to your unified sports teams. So here's our statement about fundraisers for this year of 2020-2021, is that Special Olympics Pennsylvania has been looking at safe and creative ways to do cool school plunges and other UCS fundraising activities. The most important consideration is that the health and safety of all students, teachers, and staff. There will be information forthcoming over the next month, which will provide choices for schools and students to do virtual fun activities, as well as possible limited in-person opportunities. So expect those announcements coming soon.
So we're going to shift gears just a little bit more and talk about some other things that go right along with Unified Champions Schools. And one of those things is transition. So it's been a really big focus of ours the last couple of years to ensure that our UCS participants, whether they're athletes or partners or our coaches within the schools, have an opportunity to move on to community programming and see what's available for them. So we have a number of different strategies that we're utilizing. One of those you'll see right here is one of the flyers that we send home every year that lists out what opportunities are available in their direct local program. So we're working more to have our local leadership available at championship events, so there can be that one-on-one interaction between family members, guardians, teachers with those local program members to really start to build those relationships more. But if you have any other questions about transition or how you can get your athletes and partners more involved with community programming, we do have volunteer opportunities available as well. Folks can participate in local programs as they are a part of UCS programming as well. So definitely a lot of opportunities there. One of our new initiatives that we've put in place last year is our senior recognition. So last year we were able to have a streamed senior recognition where we had all the photos of various seniors that we had submit a survey to us and give them little shout outs and be able to share some cool memories that they had. It's certainly something that we want to continue to do. So what that senior recognition does for us is it gives us a little bit of background information with the survey, as well as allows us to reach out to those students that are interested. That's one of the questions on there. If they're interested in finding out more about what happens after graduation and what opportunities are available, either within the local program that they may be in, or if they're going to a college, what opportunities exist at that college level, whether they're in state or out of state. We have resources available to be able to provide that information to them. So what we ask for on that survey is what their name is, what their UCS participation is, and that includes if they're part of a club or if they are in sports or if they're in both, what their favorite memory is and what their future plans may be. Something super exciting we certainly want to share on this webinar is our 2020 inductees to the National Banner Schools program. So these are schools that exemplify what it means to be a unified champion school. This year from Pennsylvania, we were able to have 10 inductees, which is one of the highest counts of any state in the country. So definite huge shout out to everybody within these schools. It takes a lot of people to make that happen. So in this year, it was really exciting because we were able to add our first middle school and also our first university. So again, congratulations to the 2020 inductees of National Banner Schools from Special Olympics Pennsylvania. Hey, the awards just keep on coming. So every year, Special Olympics Pennsylvania hosts an awards ceremony, and that is to honor outstanding volunteers and athletes from across the state. And this year, we really wanted to start to build in our awesome folks within our Unified Champion Schools programming. So we didn't want to leave them out. And one of the ways we did that, we wanted to add a Unified Champion Schools Leadership Award that honored a unified pair that just exemplifies what it means to be awesome leaders and share inclusion within their school and in their communities. And this year we were able to honor from Bald Eagle Area High School, Connor Roberts and Blaine Egan. So congratulations to those gentlemen, just doing awesome work within their schools. So that about wraps it up for us. So what we've gone over is a lot of information. We don't want you to feel overwhelmed at all. Your liaisons are here for you. So if you have any questions or concerns after you view this, please reach out to us. We're here for you. We're here to answer questions. We know this is the unprecedented times, but we're here to walk you through that. So please don't feel overwhelmed. We appreciate all the time and effort that you are putting into everything unified, and we look forward to working with you all year.